what do you think of the idea when people say you have to have an irrational level of self-belief and self-confidence? Do you believe in that? And then I'll have a follow-up question afterwards.
I'm not sure how to address the irrational part, but I do think that anybody that's going to be a successful entrepreneur has to have a deep-seated level of belief in themselves and a certain level of confidence about what they're able to do under really extraordinary challenges. So it's not what you know in the moment that you can take care of. It's what if I put you in a room you've never been in before and turned all the lights out and said, okay, find your way out. Some people would be so overcome with that they would just sit,
freeze,
and wait, and hopefully one day somebody would turn the lights on and let them out. But if you know, say, okay, I've got a process that I can figure this out, those are the kind of entrepreneurs that will always figure out a way to overcome the things that stop most people in their tracks. So yes, I think you do have to have a fundamental sense of belief, but I call it an internal belief because a lot of people walk around with belief tattooed all over their clothes. It's their ego. And those folks, that belief will crumble. The first time they show up to something that's really, really overwhelming, it's not going to last. But if you've gone through that a number of times and you've realized that, okay, under the worst of situations, I found a way out and I actually got better as a result of it, that kind of inner confidence has staying power.
For sure. Oh yeah, I could relate back to
So it's not necessarily like irrational in the sense of just like, there's like aggression behind it,
yes,
or, but rather it's a very calm, rational approach in which it's, something you just remind yourself.
It's very methodical in nature. You can be unassuming. You don't have to be so high pitched that when you walk in a room with a bunch of people, you suck the air out because it's all about you and nobody else gets to talk.
Right.
There's a lot of people out there like that. But if you've really got that inner confidence that says, you know what, I need to survey the land, I need to see where I'm at, what I'm dealing with, who else is involved, I can figure this out.
Yeah, but there is a lot of cases of like egomaniacs that.
Oh yeah, there's no shortage.
Have you seen the?
So I mean, the main reason why I asked this question is because I feel like just growing up in like sports environments and whatnot, there's you almost begin to develop this sense of like irrational self-belief and self-confidence and whatnot. But then what ends up happening is it starts to come off as arrogant.
Yes.
And that's when I begin to question my personality, I begin to question myself as a person. I'd love to be good at my sport, but I don't want to walk around people thinking, look at this douchebag. You know what I'm saying? Right. So that's where it's like, right. But then the thing that worries me the most is like, because of that fear of coming off as arrogant, it's almost as if I pull back completely from, the self-confidence and the self-belief, right, in hopes of being more humble.
Yes. Okay.
So it's a question of balance.
Yes, and if you look at various personality types, the way people interact, there are some people that have a very aggressive personality, which is kind of what I think you're talking about. They have this unrealistic belief in what they're capable of doing and who they are, and when you meet people like that, their fundamental philosophy is, in any given competition, I'm going to win, you're going to lose.
Right.
Okay? Win-lose kind of situation.
Very Michael Jordan kind of mindset.
Yes. On the other end of that stick, you have people who are very submissive. They're always looking for a way to please others. They're always putting others' needs before themselves. And so as a result, they get passed over, people don't listen to them, everybody devalues who they are because you never really see them take a stand on anything. Right in the middle of that stick, and I actually had to take a course when I was working for the Lysol company back in New York many years ago to help me figure this out. But right in the middle of that is the assertive personality. It's the person who knows themselves well enough and has a certain level of confidence that they can speak up on their behalf without offending the other person, without causing the other person to feel like it's a hostile situation taking place. But they're still confident enough to make their case, take their stand, and just deal with things objectively. And if you can work your way to that, That's the greatest way to get respect amongst the people that work for you and the other people in your industry. Because number one, they'll always look at you as a straight shooter. They look at you as somebody that doesn't back down in presence of adversity, somebody that you can count on. When you can develop those things, you don't have to be the blowhard.
Yeah.
You know, I give the microphone to anybody like that because it's all about the journey. People can look really good in the moment, but eventually it's going to catch up with them. You know?
Yeah, the whole fake it till you
And
make
with
it thing doesn't really work.
usually with assertiveness too, if it's done properly, it comes off as very, very confident.
Yes.
And it's very attractive.
And you don't have to see the best thing about that is it's the way you show up and interact with people. They feel that.
Right.
If you show up like a blowhard, like somebody that knows it all and nobody can question them, they're going to feel that too, but they're going to take a couple steps back. Mm-hmm. You know?
This guy's a try-hard, or this
Right.
guy thinks he's all that.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And I'm fine. Let them be that because eventually they will you know they'll fall. You know.
So
it's just a matter of time. You know.
So assertive is kind of like the balance between aggressive and submissive.
Yes. Yes.
Nice.
And what's interesting about it is you don't have to have the doctorate, the MBA.
Right.
You don't have to be, you know, the guy that's most in shape. All you have to do is be somebody who's been through enough experiences to be able to say, I've been down that road before. I know how that ends. That there's a lot. When you have certainty like that, there's a tremendous amount of satisfaction in knowing it doesn't matter what you put in front of me. I'll figure it out. You know.